You've blamed society. You don't have an answer. So it must be a conspiracy. There must be some sort, and you're just asking questions. You don't know, right? This is the game that is played by so many corrupt commentators, just asking questions. I don't have to show you evidence that something terrible is happening. I don't have to actually demonstrate how the thing is happening. I don't have to tell you who the problem is. Wink, wink. But I can just tell you right now that there is a problem. But even, and if I'm asked about it, hey, I'm just asking questions. Now, let me tell you something about just asking questions for a second. Just asking questions is a game for children. My son is 7. He can just ask questions. My daughter is 10. She can just ask questions. If you are 50 and you are just asking questions, I don't think you're just asking questions. I think that your level of curiosity is actually quite low. I think that you don't care enough to know or know enough to care. I think that the vast majority of people who are in the just asking questions business have an answer that they want to suggest, but they know there's no evidence for it, so instead they hide behind just asking questions. In other words, they're completely full of
Yes, a lot of people concluded that Ben Shapiro was referring to Tucker Carlson. When you take a look at this tweet, Ben Shapiro goes off on corrupt commentator who defend pushing claims without evidence by saying they are just asking questions. When I went through the comment sections, I realized people are referring to Tucker Carlson. I don't know, for some time now, it's like they are having a problem. This issue with Candace Owens is where Candace called Ben Shapiro out for a debate.
Candace, she's not afraid of nobody. She will say whatever she wants to say. She will debate any single person. She'll go out there and do it, right? Ben Shapiro is debating college kids.
Yeah.
Let's just be honest, right? It's like anytime he debates somebody who's like worthy, he either gets washed or bare minimum stalemate. I've never seen him actually win a debate against somebody who's like educated in the matter.
So there's drama going on right now between Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens after she put out a post on X saying that she wanted to debate him on Israel and the current definition of anti-Semitism. Candace told Ben to send location and, well, he did. But Candace wants there to be a moderator, and she suggested Patrick Bet-David, Joe Rogan, and Lex Friedman. And things just started heating up from there because now even her former employer responded, who fired her from the Daily Wire, which is what started this whole thing after Candace put out a story that then Rabbi Shmuley responded, who is this guy. He took some issues with a couple things Candace said, which then led to this whole anti-Semitism pursuit.
Yes, at this point, everyone knows Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro had a falling about, to put it kindly. Candace left the Daily Wire. The two have been less than friendly ever since, with Candace Owens suggesting Ben was recently behind this shady behavior. We know that Candace Owens is no longer with the Daily Wire. A lot is happening. I don't know if you have seen this. Candace sent this out. I would like to debate Ben Shapiro on Israel and the current definition of anti-Semitism. Can somebody make that happen?
Ben and Candace, let me first start off by saying I am so happy the two of you guys are talking, as well as agreeing to do a sit down. Obviously, the detail is the challenge, where we're going to figure out. Let me give you a couple things I want you to be thinking about. One, Ben, let me address your issue about what I said yesterday with the Daily Israeli Wire. I even said the Daily Jewish Wire. If you haven't watched the entire context of what I said, I'm going to put the link below. You can go watch the entire thing on what I said from the beginning to the end. I highly recommend you watch it. Secondly, why I think you have to know where my perspective is slightly different is I understand where you're coming from, because I lived in Iran as a kid from the day I was born till 10 years old, where we were bombed 167 times in one day. 500,000 people died, and I was a Christian kid living in a nation where 98% were Muslim. We were afraid to talk about what we were all about. So I feel the pain of people living in Israel, and I fully feel the pain of some of the folks who are Christian folks maybe living in Palestine that don't agree with what's going on with Hamas. I understand both sides, and that's why I understand what Candace is saying, and I also understand why you have the position that you have. Having said that, there's a couple things I want you to be thinking about. Number one, you are Jewish. I think you're from Burbank, California, if I'm not mistaken, and you got 4 kids. I'm Middle Eastern, Armenian, Assyrian, born in Iran. I went to Glendale, California. And then we have Candace, who I believe is from White Plains, New York, with 3 kids. We're all family folks, right? When we come down and sit down and have the conversation together, we're in America today. So this is my proposal to you. If you're America first, We, Valuetainment, have agreed that if you want to do the sit down with us, a fair and balanced sit down, the moderating of the two of you, we will give $250,000 to Laken Riley's family because of what's happening today with illegal immigration. It's the number one issue in America, and I think it matters to the both of you. So no matter where you live, today we're raising our kids in America. So I want to make sure we're America first. And last but not least, while we're talking about this, I'm going to be around for a very long time in this space. We're going to be hosting many, many different types of conversations like this. Whether you're left, center, or right, people come here, they feel safe with us, which means we're going to do a very fair interview with the two of you. And the details is on you to say yes or no. If not, totally understand. If you're open to it, I think I live 25 minutes away from you. Let's make this happen and unite specifically to the biggest voices in the conservative space. Take care, guys.
Yes, it didn't end there. I'm sure you can appreciate why I prefer to keep this off the Daily Wire platform, as well as the true reason why we were never able to make any discussions happen. Let's choose a neutral, trustworthy platform. I vote Patrick Bet-David. That is where Candace won that the debate should happen. It continued. I'm not hiding behind any moderator. I'm just choosing not to bring eyes to the Daily Wire. You are rather typically removing PBD words from their proper context to make it seem as though he basically attacked you. Rather, he offered free advice. The Daily Wire will. Candace, I see why you want to hide behind a moderator, particularly one who said we should rename our company the Daily Jewish Wire just yesterday.
Can you at least talk to just sort of where it's at now?
She's free to do whatever she wants to do, to be wherever she wants to be. When it comes to the hosts on the Daily Wire, obviously, everyone is able to say what they want. Nobody ever comes to me and says, you can't say X. Nobody ever says that to Walsh, and no one ever said that to Candace. But the reality is that there is an Overton window at the Daily Wire. Obviously, there was a non-meeting of the minds. That's pretty much all I can say on this. Daily Wire has a very strong editorial position on a wide variety of issues. And by the way, I should say that, there are a lot of people who are suggesting this is about disagreements over Israel. I mean, I can safely say it is not about disagreements over Israel, to the extent that, without reference to Candace at all here, Matt Walsh has taken the position that America ought not be involved in the Middle East at all. That's just a pure isolationist position. I disagree with it. I think it's wrong. I think that it's short-sighted. But again, he's on our platform. That is well within the range of acceptable discourse at the Daily Wire.
He's trying to gaslight us. By the way, the views on Daily Wire videos are way down. It looks like they're hemorrhaging viewers. Ben Shapiro has created an entire mess for himself and his company, and all because he disagreed with a colleague. Ben Shapiro has always been on the soapbox about freedom of speech. The Daily Wire has criticized company after company after company that fired one of their employees because they said something that they didn't particularly like. Cancel culture. There's a Ben Shapiro freedom of speech montage out there, and it's a good one. It's a long one. Ben Shapiro has done a couple of interviews since all this, and he has not handled himself at all in the way he needs to be handling himself.
Yes, what I've seen going on here is just now like a game of interest. Candace Owens does not want this debate to happen on Daily Wire because she left there. It's still like using a means to give them more money. Patrick Bet-David donated this money, like, okay, I will give $250,000 to this family. Though a lot of people criticize that you cannot be debating or doing this, to the deceased family. If you want to donate money to the family, you can just do that. That is, according to some people on X. Now going back into what is happening, Candace put out Joe Rogan and the other guy that if Ben is not in accord with Patrick Bet-David, he should be able to choose other people, but not the Daily Wire. It is left on Ben Shapiro to respond on this. I know he will not accept because he's still no benefit in that. But forget about money. It is important. We know, their versions. They should be able to speak up. We should be able to know. They should be able to come to a compromise. That is what people want to see. Yeah, not, I hate to see people that I used to follow, I used to admire, fighting. It is crazy to me, especially on the same party. You have a common enemies that you're supposed to be defeating on daily basis, not among yourself.
I'll just ask you a question. Is it sad? Is it sad? Sure. I don't want to cut each other off, okay?